What's up guys, Crane here from LogicLounge.com. Today we're going to be looking at the latest in solid state drive technology. It's the OCZ Vertex 4. Now we've been sent this solid state drive on review, and let me tell you, it's a great drive. The wonderful people over at OCZ have sent us this drive. This is the 256 version, also comes in 128, 512, and I'm sure there's another one thrown in there, thrown about. So there's one for anybody who needs higher capacities or just a simple boot drive. You have that wide a range from the Vertex series. One of the most notable things about this solid state drive is that it's using a new controller. The old controller was a Sandforce controller, which had some issues in the past with other solid state drives, and so they've changed that up. They're now using Indilinx or Indilix, or I have no clue how to say that name. Try looking up the pronunciation. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That's how I'm saying it. It's a new solid state drive controller, which is funny because it's made by Marvell. So it's nice. We haven't had any issues yet with this solid state drive. We've been using it as a boot drive in our testing machine. It's worked perfectly. Reasonable amount of time when booting it up with a SSD, of course. And let me talk about our testing machine real quick, just so we can get into the benchmarks of this solid state drive. This is a Ivy Bridge system, Core i7. It is overclocked. We do have it overclocked, I believe 4.5 gigahertz, I believe. 16 gigs of RAM. We also have a 2 gigabyte GeForce GTX 680 in there, and that's possibly all you need to know. I mean, it's a very general high-end system. Let's get into our benchmarks, because that's where this solid state drive really shows. So first off, we used two tests. First off, we used the Tto Disk Benchmark series here. We ran a couple of tests on here. This is what we were about seeing when we were actually testing this drive. We were getting about 383 sequential megabits per second read, and about write, a little bit less than that on the right side. So that is actually adequate when talking about solid state drives. It's way faster than hard disk drives, of course, which is very nice. You can see it kind of trickles down here a little bit, getting in the 4K down here when you're transferring, but it does go back up for everything else. So overall, I mean, the drive is a nice drive to have, of course. It is way faster than hard disk drives, and these scores are really kind of in the middle, not really like upper high end. It is up there. It is in the higher end, but there are ones that actually do beat it out. So just keep that in mind when searching around for solid state drives. We also used Tto Disk Benchmark. This was another one of our favorite tools that we like to use when doing solid state drive disk performances. And as you can see here, it performs very well, going up to about 400 megabits per second when reading and writing data, especially when you're getting up into the upper file sizes here. So the bigger the file size, about the faster it will go. I mean, it does hit its mark at about 256 megs, which is, you know, adequate, normal size depending on what you're transferring. I mean, if you're doing movies, if you're doing pictures, large amounts of data, it's going to give you fast transfer speeds. This is a SATA 3 drive. It goes up to 6 gigabits per second, or it does work with 6 gigabits per second ports. So you want to make sure that you plug it into the 6 gigabit port instead of the 3 gigabit port. It'll work much faster and much cleaner with that as well. I mean, this drive has worked perfectly for us. It's a nice boot drive. We have stuff on secondary drives, of course, like our games, for one, because our games take up like 300 gigabytes. So we do have that on a separate hard drive, as well as backups, general files. So solid state drives are great for being just general all-around solid state drives. The benchmarks for this drive really show that the OCZ series of drives is really trying to put forward their speed when coming to solid state drives, and it is very much competing with the upper end drives like the Max Sales drives, the Samsung drives as well, the Kingston it's getting up there. I mean, it is a leader of the pack. If you are looking for a solid-state drive, I mean, go for an OCZ, go for, probably just go for an OCZ if you're looking for a nice, relatively cheap solid-state drive. You won't do you wrong. This is the Vertex 4 series. This is the performance drive. There's two solid-state drives from OCZ. There's the Octane, and then there's the Vertex. The Vertex is more of the performance drive, while the Octane is more of a general solid-state drive. So check those out. I mean, they're relatively inexpensive, and if you do want a fast system, go ahead and try it out. I mean, if you haven't gone SSD yet, you probably do need to try it out, because once you go SSD, you never go back. So I'm glad that OCZ has sent us this review unit. We're looking forward to even more review units, hopefully, that they'll give us in the near future, so that we can then compare the Vertex 4 to even more solid-state drives, not only from OCZ, but Other World Computing. We're going to try to get some Samsung SSDs in here as well. We're going to try to get even more SSDs, and so hopefully we'll be able to do that for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and check it out. We'll have a link below to the Amazon link there, so you can go and buy this drive if you're interested. It'll have all of those sizes in there. If you have any questions for me, email me, Creighton@logiclounge.com. Of course, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, all under the username of Logic Lounge. And of course, until our next video, we'll see you guys later.